Let's hope this works. Okay. This seems to be working. I'm sorry, the quality is quite crap. There we go. It's working. I'm online. And that's as far as I can remember by heart. Okay, this is good. This means my live stream is working. Thank you for tuning in. If you would like to ask any questions, then please do so. That is really nice. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and play a little bit. Let me see what I have over on my music stand. So this is the Baroque solo book, which I really love. It's full of solo pieces for Baroque, from the Baroque era. Let me just get out my alto. I am going to be playing my 415 Baroque alto. Just going to play a bit of Telemann Fantasia No. 9 because I really like that one. It would help if I actually turn the bottom joint of my recorder around the right way. It's just occurred to me, I think I should have this on public. Is it public now? I'm going to stop and start again. everybody. I'm sorry, we had a bit of technical teething problems in the beginning. It took me a full 21 minutes to figure out how to actually live stream. But it appears to be working. Yes. Great. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Team Recorder Live. I'm sorry the quality isn't as good as I wanted it to be. I wanted to use my proper camera, which I have here, but it's been a busy day. I couldn't figure it out. So how are you? I see hi from Canada, hi from Lebanon. Nice. Hi from the Netherlands. Really nice that you have tuned in. I hope you've all had a really nice weekend. You've all done something nice with your day. Yes, it might even be the daytime where you are. Here it's already 8:20 in the evening, so the weekend's pretty much over. But anyway, if you would like to ask me a question about anything to do with the recorder, please do so. I'm happy to answer anything. Otherwise, I'm just very much enjoying my Baroque solo book, which is a book full of all different Baroque solo pieces, as you can probably tell. Bach, Telemann, a whole bunch of other people. So if people don't have questions, I'll just play little bits of that. Otherwise, hi from England, Sweden, Hungary. I can say one word in Hungarian, and that is vízvezetékszerelő. So I was just playing a little bit of Telemann's Fantasia number 9. Just turning this thing on my neck around. I'm just going to play a little bit more. Piece. Hi from the Philippines. We have our first question from Selwyn. My thoughts on Yamaha recorders. I actually have quite a few different Yamaha recorders. I really like them. I have quite a few plastic instruments right here actually. I have a few of the Y302B series. For example, these altos I use to practice on a lot. Sometimes I'm doing technical exercises. I don't want to be using my wooden ones all the time. So I really like them. And I've worked on plastic tenors and bassettes for a long time too. And actually my wooden tenor, bassette and soprano are all Yamahas. I like them. For my tenor, I think if I was playing more Baroque repertoire on it, I would have gone for a different maker. But I'm mainly doing contemporary stuff, and then I think Yamaha is great. Do I know any sources of exercises for great bass? Well, what there is, let me see. In my box of studies and technique. By the way, I hope you can hear this. I could just be talking to myself. I'm looking for a book. I think that book is in England. But yes, there is a book of studies for tenor and bassette. And I think they would work really nice on the great bass too. And it's called the Basel book, like Basel, the city in Switzerland, by Hans Martin Linde. Now this is all quite a specific style of music. It's kind of modern music with a bit of a avant-garde flavour, but they're really beautiful studies for learning how to control your instrument in tone, melody. So for the great bass, I would go with that. And aside from that, I would recommend getting some Renaissance consort music and learning to play the bass lines on your great bass as a flowing melody, making long lines, long phrasings with lots of air. Next question. Hi Argentina, by the way, and Greece and America. Oh, this is so nice. I'm just writing something here. P.S. Guys, are you hearing my answers, by the way? Just checking it's working. So Sophie asks, what is your favourite recorder out of your collection? I have it right here. This is my my alto in 415, Baroque alto, made by Joachim Romer, who is a German maker, and I think it's rosewood. I have had this recorder for a long time, I think about 14 years, and I love it. It's so nice. But if you ask me tomorrow or next week, I'll probably have a different favourite. But this today is it. Oh great, you can hear me. That's good. Okay. Hi from England. So my next question is about unusual pitch recorders such as B flat, soprano, alto in G or A. I think they are great. I mean, today we have standardized pitch. We have the A is 440 hertz or 442 hertz. We have recorders in C and F, but earlier it wasn't like that. In every city and in every country, the pitches would be slightly different because there was no way of standardizing it. And recorders were also tuned differently. There were many more recorders in C, F, but also D, G, A, E, B flat. I mean, historically, it's all good. So, yeah, if you're thinking of getting a smaller instrument to fit your hands, go for it. I think that's a really good idea. I have one student actually who plays the whistle, and she has problems with stiff hands. So what we do is we play all different sizes of whistle, and some work better for her hands on different days. I think I have a bunch of them here. I know they're not recorders, but it's just an example. We have whistles in B flat, E flat, D, G, C, and low G. The only thing is, if you're going to be playing in a group with other people and you're playing a line written for the alto in F and yours is in G, then you'll need to transpose it because you're playing with others. If you're playing on your own, you just play it however you want. But it's also good to know how to transpose things, and it gets easier the more you do it. And I love altos in G. A while back, my trio went to Germany for a concert, and we had to borrow some instruments because we didn't have our own then. And we assumed the altos would be either in F or G. And we got there and they were in A. And one of my poor colleagues had to transpose every single piece a whole tone down. Okay, how do you tune with other instruments? That is a very good question. When I'm tuning, I actually like to tune in a fifth, so I don't try and tune the same note. They play an A, I play an A. I like to tune a fifth apart. So if they play an A, I will play some E's, some A's as well, some D's. I'll play a whole chord around it. Tuning, I think this can be a whole video. But basically, it's good to train yourself to hear if you're too high or too low. So what you would do is you would play your note, blow a bit harder and a bit softer, and try and hone in on the correct tone. And then play some notes of the chord around it. And then maybe ask for another note. And the other thing to remember is the recorder is very flexible, which is amazing, but it's also nicely dangerous. So it's not that we tune this note, then the rest is in tune. You have to constantly be using your ears to make sure that you're still in tune. As your instrument warms up, it will get higher. Keep checking you're still in tune. And a good rule of thumb is that the recorders tend to generally be low, so expect to be blowing quite a lot. Yeah, tuning, just keep listening, keep using your ears, and don't be afraid to blow a lot. Alright. Hi to Sweden and hi to Serbia. So I can actually just call you by your names. So to Malin and Maya and everyone. I'm enjoying it so much that all these people are listening. Nice question. What's your thought on the EU's ban on some types of wood often used for recorders? That's an interesting one, because I guess this is talking about endangered woods. And of course, I don't want to contribute to the planet being, everything on the planet being used up for us humans. It's a difficult one because I know that a lot of very precious materials, a certain amount is put aside for artistic things like certain woods. And the other thing is that once a tree is chopped down, it has to dry out for about 10 to 15 years before it can be made into a recorder, because wood, a living tree, is full of water, it's full of sap, that all has to drain out and dry out before you can work it. So it could be very difficult for a recorder maker who has waited 10 years with this really special wood and suddenly they can't use it anymore. But to be honest, I don't really know how the ban works. I think if we can make sustainable recorders on wood that isn't going to harm the planet as much and they still sound great, then that's also good. So to be honest, I don't really know. When I was buying my recorders, I've never been that conscious of where the wood comes from. But now I think I would think about it more. Actually, I'm really happy you asked that question because I don't really know. And this is good. It's making me think about things. Playing with a metronome. I have 2 tips to start you off. First, it's good to be able to feel the beat, because there's no point putting a metronome on and it's going ping, ping, ping. I'm going to put my metronome on. There's no point if you put a metronome on and it's just going and you don't really know what to do with it. So I've got a metronome on my phone. Just going to put it on. This is a bit faster. But so first, just really feel the beat. Don't be afraid to move a bit. Dun, 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 and try and play with it. Maybe a scale. And the next step after feeling the beat is dividing the beat. Dividing it into 2, then you have 8th notes into 4. So let's try and do that again. And we're going to divide the beat into 2. That's 4. So So basically, you're feeling the beat, you're dividing the beat. And of course, don't forget to hold over the beat, long notes. Let's do 4 beats. And you're feeling the phrases. Da, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 2, 3, and 5. So I would suggest getting to know your metronome a bit like that. You can do this with 3 notes. It doesn't have to be fast passages. And then taking small sections of your piece. Because if you put your metronome on and immediately try and play it with a piece, it can be quite a lot to deal with at once. Okay. Our next question is from Anastasia. I'm just going to interrupt to say hello to Kagabuski, who is actually one of my best friends from high school. Hi, Kat. I got it working. Yes. Hi. A question from Anastasia. I wonder if you have any tips for people who learn by themselves, figuring out what to learn next, what techniques and pieces are too difficult. That is a good one, because the good thing about a teacher is it's also the teacher's job to listen and think, what do you need next? What would you enjoy? What is also healthy for you? But if you are on your own, I would concentrate on playing things that you really love and enjoy. Also try and listen to yourself and think, what do I need to work on? If your fingers are stiff, maybe it could be good to get some exercises, or to play something like a Telemann Fantasia that has lots of different notes. This is very notey. If you're having problems breathing, take a slow piece that you can really blow through. But what you could also do, in England we have a grade system of exams, and you have 8 grades, 1 to 8. 1 is basically a bit more than beginner's level. Grade 8 is just before you go to study music at a music college, and every grade gets progressively harder, and it gives, I'm going to show you this. You can get a syllabus, basically like a little book, and it tells you for each grade the like a whole list of pieces that you can be playing, with the books that there are, the exercises you should be able to do, the technical work, the scales. I mean, you don't have to go and do these exams, and in the Netherlands where I work and where I teach, we don't have these exams, but I still like to use the syllabus as a kind of guide for my students. So if they're wanting another book, I look in the syllabus and see what could be good for their level. There are different examination boards. I really like the ones from Trinity College London, because they have much more things like improvisation. They're a bit more wide-ranging than the other board, which is ABRSM, and that tends to be a bit more traditional, but they're both good. So I would recommend going to the website of Trinity College London and looking for the current woodwind syllabus. This one is from 2013, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. And you can get them for free, so I think you can probably find them online. So that could be a good resource of material pieces to play that are really good for your level. I hope that was helpful. Jude asks, hi Sarah, how can you ensure that you can be heard when playing with other instruments, especially because the recorder isn't too loud? That's good. I would offer 2 immediate things. One is first to explain to the other instruments that you can be slightly softer than them. Simple things such as spacing on stage. So if you're performing, make sure you're sitting closest to the audience. It's not like the saxophones and the trumpets, then you're in the back. With a bit of clever spacing, you can make it work. If you're playing with a flute player, you could ask them to point their flute away from the audience rather than towards. If you're playing with a piano, you could ask the lid to be this much down instead of completely open. Then I would blow a lot, big sound. And it's worth remembering that the high instruments, the soprano, the sopranino, doesn't matter how loud the other instruments are, you will cut through. And then two more ideas that are a bit more involved. One is using a small microphone. Well, it doesn't have to be a small mic, a microphone. And then just put a small amplifier, an amp, under your chair so that your sound is coming from underneath you. For the audience, it will barely be noticeable that you're amplified. You will just be a bit louder. I'm sorry. And yes, and the other much more investment thing is check out the Eagle recorders because they are loud. They're not cheap. We're talking about a couple of $1,000, but if you really want to stand with an orchestra and play like rah, then that can be something. So I would say understanding colleagues, clever use of spacing, blow loudly, and then a step further is microphone and a loud instrument. Oh, this is fun. I'm just going to have a glass of water. Okay. So our next question. When will the next recording by Royal Wind Music come about? And will you be touring with the Royal Wind in the US? And maybe the San Francisco Bay Area? Okay. The Royal Wind, for those of you who don't know, is an ensemble that I play with. And we are, I think, 11 or 12, I can never remember, recorder players who perform on a consort of recorders from this big to 3 meters tall. And we play Renaissance music. We're basically a living organ, and it's really beautiful. Yes, our next CD is coming out this year. It has already been recorded. It is currently being edited and mastered. And it's of our most recent program, which was called A Cosmography of Polyphony. And it's going to be a really beautiful CD. Unfortunately, they recorded the CD literally 2 weeks before I joined the ensemble. So I'm not playing on the CD. But it is a program that I've done about 10 concerts with because I joined them halfway through that program. So you can't hear me on the CD, but to be honest, you won't really notice because it's 12 people playing and everyone plays beautiful. And do we have plans to come to the USA? I don't know how much I can say. At the moment, I can say this. We have no confirmed bookings in the San Francisco Bay Area at the moment, I'm afraid. If you know of a festival that can book us, please let us know. But we do travel a lot. We have a couple of things in the pipeline. So, but we are playing in the Netherlands and in Germany quite a lot in the upcoming months. So, I know, my metronome speeds up during the difficult passages as well. Oh, it's like it gets excited. Ooh, who are my favourite recorder players? I just discovered a new favourite, and I'm going to talk about this in my favourites video, that she is an Israeli recorder player who is currently studying or living in America. She's called Tali Rubinstein, and she's amazing. She plays jazz on the recorder, but like, she's so good. Tali Rubinstein, go and check her out. I would say my favourite recorder player in the world, this is going to sound really sappy, but it's one of my friends, and it's my friend called Eva Gemeinhardt, and I think she just plays so beautifully, and we studied together in Amsterdam. We were in the same year. I always just really look up to her. I really like the way she plays. She's like, and other than that, my mind is blank. I have lots of favourites. It's all lovely. Any good apps for recorder, like tuning or practicing? I don't. That's a good question. I don't use that many apps yet, But if you know of some, please let me know, because that could be a really nice video idea. I did have a tuning app. I have an app called N-Track Tuner. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, so I use that one. How do you make glissando from the first to second register? Oh yeah, so my brain is a little bit blank. The first register is and then the second register is when you're half holding it. And then the can be difficult to make a glissando. So what I do is I use my knee. And my latest video was about how to use your knee. And in this case, you really need to, it's not just about key on, key off, you really need to roll it. So that's also one of the reasons I personally don't use keys here. I use my knee. So what I would do, see if you can see this, I glissando up to about this here, and here I roll the flute onto my knee, the recorder, it's on my knee, and then I take all my fingers off, and because my recorder's on my knee, it lowers the pitch, and then I put all of these fingers on, which doesn't make a sound, and then I roll it off my knee, and I'm already in the second register, and I may take my fingers away. Could you follow that? I'm going to do it. It's actually harder than it looks. I'm going to try it again. So here on the knee, and then I put these fingers down, actually not my first finger or thumb. So around here, roll onto the knee, go all your fingers away, add these ones, roll knee off, keep going. Quite tricky, but with a bit of practice it works. So okay, just having a 2-second brain break. It was quite a busy day today. I played a concert with the recorder quintet Seldom Seen, who are they're also some of my favourite recorder players. I really look up to them, and I was really honoured that they asked me to join for a concert today, because they had a new piece that they're premiering, and it has for the past few months they've had a guy playing with them called Yi Chang Liang, and he's amazing. But they had a new piece which needs 5 female singing voices, so they asked me to join, and that was today. It was a really good piece, and they were so nice to work with. So it's been a bit of a day already. Next question from Jules. Hi Jules. Do you have any suggestions for what to play and listen out for when trying out a new wooden recorder? I know what kind of sound I prefer, but tips would be welcome. Okay. So it's good you know what kind of sound you prefer, because that's the first thing, trying out the sound. Do you want a big sound, a small? Basically when you blow it, I think you can always tell if you like the sound or not. I would check the tuning. So first we're going to try some octaves. You can hear on this one the low is a bit, the octave here is a bit small. also checking the E flat and B flat. I would check how much you can blow with the low notes before they crack. On this one you can blow a lot. If you can almost not blow at all, maybe the recorder needs playing in, but maybe it's not what you want. And also see how pure the high notes are. One thing is, can you hit this fingering in one go? For example, on my tenor by Yamaha, it actually has a problem. This fingering just does not work. Okay. Right now it decided to work. It literally never works. But often we get... So check how much you can blow in the low register, how clear the high register. Maybe you also want to check this C sharp. And if there are issues like this and you still really love the sound, then talk to the person, the maker you're buying it from. If it's from the recorder maker or a recorder specialist, often they can, for example, fix a tuning problem. If it has a kind of fundamental problem like a tuning thing, and it's just from a dealer that doesn't have any experience of recorders, it's a bit more risky. You can send it off to someone to get it tuned, but then yeah, and then also look at it, check that the labium is clear and straight and well made. Look inside, look up to the light. Are there any kind of weird scratches or funny things in the wood? Is it smooth inside? There's no kind of gouges. Check that there aren't knots in the wood. And also put it on a table and check that it's not bent like a banana, because sometimes that does happen. So also have a good look inside. Check that the wood is all good quality. So that's what I would look for. And if you're really spending a lot of money, you're completely within your rights after a month or two, if it's not turning out the way you like, to take it back to the maker and be like, hey, I don't like this. Fix it, please. In a nice way. Often they're nice. I hope that helps, and good luck with your new recorder, and let me know how it goes. My favourite woods for recorders. People ask me this a lot. I don't know. I like... Oh, to be honest, all my woods are different recorders. All my recorders are different woods. Often I find myself buying maple wood, which is the lightest, kind of cheapest one, but I really like it. I had this with... This is my Gark line. And it's maple. And it was by far the cheapest. And I actually wanted to, like... There was a beautiful dark wood and it looked so nice, and I wanted to like that one because it was so pretty. But I actually like the sound of this. I have a few really dark wood recorders. I have a couple of kind of rosewood. I don't have a favourite, to be honest. It's different in every case. Oh yeah. Thomas saying, I have no idea Sarah plays in Royal Wind. I do! Where in Germany are we playing? I think the next place we're playing is at the Recorder Summit. That's a big recorder festival in Schwelm. That's... Oh no! We're playing before then, because Schwelm is next year. I can't remember. Basically, keep checking our website. We play in Germany quite a lot because, well, the Netherlands is right next to Germany, and Germany is amazing for early music festivals and for bookings. In August, we played in Münster and in Dalheim, and they were festivals, and both were completely packed, like 400 people, really appreciative audience, and in Germany, we are always just treated so well, also by the organisation, which is quite nice coming from the Netherlands, where they're like, here's a cupboard to get ready in. So, sorry, that was a really meandering answer. I can't remember what the next time we're coming to Germany, but just keep checking our website. Ooh, Forest is a good app to help you focus on practice by helping you not get distracted by your phone. I definitely need that, because today I was practicing, and I say practicing, but I would say 2/3 of it was looking at my phone. Forest. Okay. I'm going to write that down. Forest. Okay, thank you. Oh, My Online Pianist. Oh yeah, someone's saying Tally Rubinstein is amazing. I know! Oh yeah, and everyone's sharing their favourites. Oh, cute. Oh, Trevor's saying, is the live stream saved by YouTube? Well, yes. I have the option of uploading all of this to YouTube if you want. I think the first part is basically me going, oh, how do I make it work? So we'll see. Maybe I'll make it unlisted, so if you want it, you can ask me for the link and I'll send it to you. Because this is basically a video of me going blah, blah, blah. So, hi, George from Greece. Is contemporary music a kind of music that sounds alone? I'm asking you because it sounds like ... special effects. Yeah, I completely understand, George. Contemporary music can seem really overwhelming and like, what am I meant to be listening for? The thing with contemporary music is it's a huge genre. It literally means music being made now. So it can be so many different things. When a lot of people think about contemporary music, they're actually thinking about this kind of... I'm going to play a bit for you, like... This style is actually more, I would say, like 1960s, 1970s avant-garde, and that was a really specific style by composers at that time exploring something. And now it's very different. Contemporary music in the 80s is again different to the 90s, to last decade, to today, so it's really varied. Like with any musical genre, the more you listen to it, the more you kind of get into it. What I love about a lot of good contemporary music is it's really about texture and sound colour. So it's not so much harmony and melody, it's really about letting your ears be caressed by all these textures. And I will say there is also a big difference between good contemporary music and bad contemporary music. A really good book, I don't have it here, is called The Rest is Noise by Alex Ross, and I'm going to talk about this in my next favourites video. But it's a book, he basically explains how to listen to contemporary music, and he tells the history of contemporary music like a story. It's like reading a novel about these characters, except the characters are composers. And the way he describes the music just makes you want to listen to it, and everything he mentions he puts a link to on the website, so everything he mentions you can immediately listen to, and it's so good. And yeah, sure, some contemporary music has special effects, has extended techniques, and a lot doesn't. It's so different. It's like saying European music or happy music, you know, it's really wide and varied. So I hope that helps. There are some styles of music where you think, oh, I never like that, and then you listen to it and you actually really do. Yeah. So, how do I organise my music sheets? Well, you can see behind me, I've got a bookcase. Should we have a look? This is nice. I've reorganised them recently, but then I bought even more music, so I've got to reorganise. But I have all the kind of books. Oh God. we have early music, Renaissance music, Baroque music, solo early music. This is all teaching stuff. There's 2 more here that I've put over there. Then we have more early music. We have duets, and this is a series of music. And then this is all contemporary music. So I have solo, electronic and chamber music, and this is recorder and percussion. And on the floor I also have other piles of music. And then what I also really like to do is, if I'm playing a big score, I like to make a kind of nice score of it. So I'll try and show you one here. So I always find that it looks much more professional on my music stand to have a kind of booklet like this rather than hundreds of pages. So I photocopy a piece and I stick it in like this, and then it's much easier to follow and I don't lose it. So that's how I organise my sheet music. It's actually one of my favourite things to do. I find it very relaxing to organise things. The dark line is cool. Hi John. If you're seeing a lot of questions from John Bittman, that's my husband. John? Can you stop asking questions?
What?
Stop asking questions.
People want to know.
No. If any of you do want to know about his cycling exploits, then are you coming to say hi? This is John. There's actually people watching. Just say something nice. Stop it. Go away. Go. Oh, God. Okay. What's your husband's YouTube handle? He's not allowed on YouTube because it's so strange. Oh, look, here's somebody. Cycling recorders fit well together. It would be different to take your piano to the concert on the bike. That's very true. Okay. So next question, Jane Ward is saying, on the subject of contemporary music, it would be great to have you take some pieces and guide us through how you see them. Hours at a time. Hours. They can't even see you. You're okay. He's got... Okay. Yeah, Jane, that's something I really want to do, help guide people through contemporary music, because when you first listen to it, it can be like, but with a bit of like, hey, listen to this and listen to this, it can be really exciting. So already on my channel you can see this I did with Gesti by Luciano Berio, and I'm planning it with a few different pieces. One beautiful piece is called Austro by Giorgio Tedder, and I think that will be the next one. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Ha! Any thoughts on playing without tonguing? Yeah, now that's called Legato. It's completely possible. The thing is with the tongue shapes the music for us. The tongue is just as important in recorder playing as it is in speaking. And because the recorder is so open, there's no embouchure, there's no resistance, it's literally a hole. Our articulation, our tonguing is felt very extremely. And I would like to think we actually have the most flexible articulation of any wind instrument. We can do so much with it. So you can play beautifully without the tongue, legato, but I just feel like we'd be missing out on so much. Also, then there's the risk of doing with your throat, and that can could be damaging. Because then for the high notes you need and your tongue is a muscle. The more you use it, it's going to build. This down here, it's going to get tired. So by all means use legato when you find it beautiful in the music, but otherwise really enjoy using the tongue, because that's what it's there for. Playing the recorder. Hi from France. Can you damage your hearing by playing sopranino or garkline? Yes, I think you can. Seriously, I think you can. I know a lot of musicians that if they practice a lot of high things, they use earplugs. When I was studying in Amsterdam, you could even go and get fitted for professional earplugs that when you were wearing them, you could still hear everything perfectly, but they cut out the highest frequencies. I'm going to demonstrate. If you don't want to hear this, put your fingers in your ears. I'm going to play one high note. It's not even working. That is high and loud. So if you're finding you're getting ringing in your ears, just put in some earplugs and you'll still hear your music through it. It would be amazing to hear John play the Zanzidophone. Maybe we'll play a little duet for you. We really like to play duets on Zanzidophone and recorders. Getting trolled by your own husband live, I know. Can I do the Twilight Zone theme? I don't know. Who cooks best, me or John? Me. Yeah, I mean, we're both quite busy and John is touring a lot. He is he's a musician as well, so we don't cook all that much, but yes. I'm going to say one thing about John. He is a John without an H. I'll just say that. Have I tried any other instrument? Yeah, I grew up having piano and flute lessons. I just played the recorder secretly in my bedroom when I was meant to be playing the others. But you know, I did a whole YouTube video on this as well. But recorder is really my instrument. And then I've tried a few other things. I can play one chord on the guitar. I have a bit of a go at different instruments. But no, I mean, I play piano and flute, but recorder is my thing. Oh yeah, Electra is the same thing. Come to Italy and have a concert in Milan. I would love to. If you know of a festival or concert series that would like to invite me, then just say the word. I'll be there. That would be amazing. Alternative fingerings for the high F sharp that can be used without covering this. Yeah, the high F sharp is the normal one, for those of you who don't know, is this fingering. And then we cover the end hole. For a very quick one, you could play a normal F and then remove this finger. But it's very fast. And then for the tenor and the basset, I actually play the G and I shade both of these fingers. I'll show you on my tenor. And that works. But I think for the treble, the alto, you do have to cover this. But don't worry, I made a video on how to do that. It seems like what to cover the end of the recorder, but it's not actually that bad. My music school is trying to start an early music ensemble. Are there good pieces for 3 or 4 recorders that aren't too difficult? Definitely. And oh my god, there's so many. Where to start? What you could do, actually, I mean, there's so much early music out there. It's just an insane amount, and a lot of early music wasn't even originally for recorders. It's adapted from other instruments or from voices. A good starting point is this set of books my mum has. She's a recorder player. It's called I think it's something like the Tudor, my first Tudor book or something. Oh, I'm sorry, this is such a vague answer. But it's a book of Tudor music, and it's even in 3 different stages. So they have all of the pieces as very easy, quite easy, and intermediate. I tell you what, this wasn't a very concrete answer, so maybe you can put this comment on one of my videos and that will remind me, and I'll ask my mum what the book is called. The other thing was King Henry VIII of England was a recorder player, and he wrote recording music, and there's a lot of recording music written for his court, except he wasn't a very good recorder player. So the music was quite simple. So if you look for music from King Henry VIII, that could also be good. And also, oh, I've just remembered, Anthony Holborn. Anthony Holborn. He's also a good composer. I'm going to write it down here. Anthony Holborn. There we go. Haha. How does it feel when you make noticeable mistakes on stage when you're playing? I mean, it doesn't feel great. It depends very much on the context. If I'm playing like with my band and we're kind of at a gig, everyone's dancing, and I go, "Wah!" It doesn't bother me at all. I'm just like, ha ha ha. If it's kind of more of a high pressure concert, the composers are there, or it's very beautiful early music, then it is like, oh my god. It depends, yeah, if it's noticeable. If I mess up and I know no one else notices and I know I can just quietly get back in, it's fine. It's just when you make a really big mess up on stage and you just, it's just not a nice feeling, but you just have to keep going. Happens to everybody. The thing is continuing professionally. I was thinking about this today, how it would be if it was such a big mistake that you actually cried and left the stage, and that has not ever happened to me, luckily. But I also made a video on my biggest mistakes on stage, and none of them were nice, but I'm still alive for all of them. And yeah. Is there an alternative fingering for an E, F trill on an alto? Yes! You play the F and then you trill with this finger. Or, probably more historically accurate, is that you go to the E and then the trill is a bit wider, but sometimes that can be nice. Oh, that's one. So yes, those two. Either trill with finger 3 or with finger 1. I know your pain. I'm in high school trying to play the recorder, but I mostly face ridicule from everyone but the music instructor. Yeah, it's really tough having a hobby or interest that other people take the in England we say take the mickey out of you for. Yeah, the thing to remember is your people and your community are somewhere out there. And the people in your high school, luckily, are not going to be the people you spend the rest of your life with. I also went to a pretty tough high school. And I felt like I was always laughed at for the things I was into. I was also super nerdy. But I found my people. And in the end, there were even people within my school who did like the same things I liked. you just have to keep doing what you're doing. And if people say, "Oh, why do you play the recorder?" Be like, "Didn't you know it's great? It's a great instrument." And if they say, "No, it's not, it's stupid," then it's really hard. High school was tough. The thing that I look back and think was that actually everyone there is super insecure. I was so happy to not be. Yeah, it's a tough age, and so the kind of meanest people in school are actually probably the most insecure ones. Outside they're like, "Oh, you play the recorder, that means you're dumb," and inside they're like, "Oh my god, everyone's gonna think I'm dumb." So go for it. You do what you're doing, enjoy it, like it, and actually other people will respect that. They'll be like, "Wow, that's really, really cool." And I love now bumping into people from my high school, and I say, "I'm a recorder player." They're a bit like, "It is fine, I do it. I like what I do." And does it happen often that I make mistakes on stage? It's a really funny face. Yeah, I think every concert there's something that I'm like, I wish I'd not done that. Yeah, it's part of the job. It's absolutely part of the job. Noticeable mistakes, not so often, but again, it happens. I played a concert on Tuesday, and in the easiest piece, I played a bar of complete crap, and I'm sure the audience heard it, but you just keep going. Oh, interesting question. Sarah, I hope you're comfortable at this. In one of your videos, you mentioned a girlfriend. Are you bisexual? This is meant with no malice. No, it's fine. I'm completely comfortable with this. Yes, I did mention my ex-girlfriend, and yeah, I happily identify as bisexual or queer. I actually like to say, but yeah, I'm completely open and comfortable about this. I've had relationships with men and women, and that's all there is to it, really. It's it's not really such a great mystery in the end. That's it. And now I'm with John, and I'm very happy with that. But to me, like, someone's gender doesn't really make a difference if I like them or not. I think that makes a lot of sense for a lot of people. So yeah, I'm always very happy to talk about this. When I was growing up, like being a recorder player, I didn't really have that many role models for people who weren't straight. I also grew up in quite a small place where it wasn't really seen as accepted to be gay or to be bisexual or anything other than straight. So I am completely happy to be very open about this and talk about it. And also, there aren't so many, there's not so much representation of bisexual people. It's often like, "Oh, you're actually just gay," or "You're actually just straight, make a decision." But that's not actually how it works. You can, it's just, I mean, for me, it's just completely normal to like both guys and girls. It's like saying you can only eat pizza or, I don't know, ice cream for the rest of your life. You're like, why should you have to choose? So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I'm aware that that might not make sense, but that's it. And the last thing I just want to say is that I really think that your sexuality doesn't, or at least my sexuality doesn't depend on the gender of the person I'm with. So it's not like when I had a girlfriend I was gay, when I had a boyfriend I was straight. I'm still just me. So that's how it is. And yeah, I'm always happy to answer these questions. So thank you for asking, and I hope that was an interesting answer for you. From that question to, do I ever play with a mute? No, I don't actually. The only way I know to make a mute for the recorder... Oh, thanks, Trevor. is I get a piece of paper and I put it in the windway, like that. What I like about this is you can play very softly, but you're still blowing, you're still feeling the fingers on the recorder. I do it very, very, very carefully with my wooden recorders, but this can be a good way of practicing if you have neighbours or if you don't want to wake people up. But yeah, so there's that. It is cool to be a nerd. Oh, by the way, I love that you are all sharing links and sharing things as well. I mean, obviously now I am just talking at you, but what I really want with Team Recorder is that it's a community where you also talk to and meet and get in contact with each other. Nothing would make me happier than to hear that through Team Recorder a group of people have met and had formed a group to play together or something, for example. Oh, Recorder community. Some people play music using ordinary items like metallic pipes, cans, bins, spoons. Is it music? Are they artists? What's your opinion? Yes, actually this relates a lot to one of my jobs. Yeah, I think you can make music with anything. All musical instruments began as an experiment at one point or another. I think creativity is so important, and I think making music shouldn't only be limited to people who have an instrument and who have had the time or the lessons or the resources to learn it. I work in a place in Amsterdam called the Sound Lab, and there we have about 50 different self-made invented instruments that we also play with spoons and things, and a lot of these are made by sound artists or students who are studying design or sound art or something. And the idea we have there is that we have whole classes of either high school kids or elementary school kids or even students or adults, and with a big group we compose a piece together. So we're doing composition, improvisation, conducting, being creative, making music. And the idea with these instruments is that you can play them even if you've never made music. I find that people are then so creative. We can make really complex pieces with a story. Sometimes they make dancers or they narrate something. And what I found is that actually everyone is super creative, and you can use anything to be creative. And I'm a workshop leader, so I'll be there with a group, and we have 90 minutes to make this happen. Yeah. So, I mean, I use the recorder. The recorder is my chosen medium for making music, and it's where I feel the most at home. But if you have some pots and pans and spoons, and that's your thing, amazing. How often do you have your recorders revoiced? I don't. Not so often. I think most of my recorders only have revoiced once or maybe twice every few years, when I really start to think it's getting hard to play. And when it's dry, I look in here, look up to the light, and I see nothing. And that means that in here it's so swollen that no light is let through. Yeah. So don't worry, having your recorders revoiced isn't something that you have to do every single year. Sometimes you can even, if you're not sure, just send it to your recorder maker and maybe they just clean it. And they might, hopefully you can trust them enough to say, does it need revoicing? And they might be like, no, actually it's fine, I give it another year or two. Or they might be like, yeah. Interesting. I think a lot of serious music that's not played with your heart isn't actually really music. Yeah, I don't know. It's a big question. Let's have a look. Why do some recorder players play into the corner of the beak like this? Well, is it? Sometimes I play half blowing into the recorder, half blowing across, and then you get wind sound. And it could also be, if the recorder's a bit big, if I'm playing a big instrument, I find that the lower hand pulls up and then I end up playing a bit like this, which isn't such great posture, but I'm guilty of it too. Can an alto tuned to 415 be used with 440 instruments as an alto in E? Yes, definitely. For those who don't know, we have different tuning systems. Modern pitch is, say, here. Baroque pitch is a semitone or half tone lower. Renaissance pitch can be a half tone higher. There are also different ones. But yeah, you can definitely mix and match. Also, a 466 alto in F is the same as a 415 alto in G. So if you have that instrument, you have 2 in 1. Yeah, I think you can definitely do that. Guys, I've been online for quite a long time, so I'm going to answer a couple more questions, and then maybe I'll close off with a duet from me and John on the Zanza the phone and recorder if you'd like that. So if you have another question, please answer it now. Exactly, it'd be like having an A flat and B flat clarinets. So I'm going to answer 2 more questions from Laura and from Norfell. From Laura, did it take a lot of time for you to stop comparing yourself to others in a not always positive way while studying? Oh my God, yes, I went through this. I compared myself to others big time. Also because, I mean, if you heard my story before, I didn't really have recorded lessons until I went to the conservatoire. So I felt very crap. I felt like I was the worst one. And to be honest, I was the worst one, but that was okay. We're all learning. And I was suddenly studying with people that had been to private school. They'd been to private music boarding schools, had studied with the best people, had studied internationally. And I come from my small village with my plastic recorders, and I was like, oh my God. And I compared myself to others a lot. How did I get over this? Part of it was, I mean, I really mean this in a nice way. Part of it was growing up and being more sure of myself. And when I first went to study, I was only just 18 and I was still very And part of it was just settling down and, sounds cheesy, but like working out who I was and realizing that everybody has insecurities. And I really worked on my stuff. So in the end, I kind of knuckled down, and the things I was insecure about, I worked on and improved. And even if it wasn't perfect at first, I began to see improvement. So, for example, I'd be like, oh, I couldn't double tongue, and that was really insecure. So I started learning. And in my first and second years studying, I got quite low marks and I felt rubbish. But then I worked really hard and it was much higher in my third year. And even though maybe it was still lower than other people, I'd made progress in myself. And then, so I'd worked out how to improve for myself. And then the other thing is to really try and not see other people as your competitors. The important thing to remember is that other people being happy or being successful doesn't mean you are going to be sad or unsuccessful. There's a phrase that I really love that's a rising tide lifts all the boats, something like that. So other people, your friends and colleagues around you being successful is only good. There is enough in the recorder world for everyone, and it can be hard when you see a colleague getting an amazing opportunity, because you think, I wish I had that. But actually, it's just wonderful. It just means everyone's getting better. And then I think the last thing would be to share this with your friends and your colleagues. If you have a trusted friend, tell them how you feel, and they will definitely feel the same way. Yeah. And what I did once with in my recorder class, my teacher Annabelle Knight, she is amazing. We all played for each other, and she had us write down a little note with compliments on it. And we each, at the end of the class, got a bundle of compliments. And I know, and in a way, yeah, we all had to sit and write compliments for each other, but it was so special, and that really helped me. So if I was feeling like comparing myself to other people, I just read the nice compliments from my friends, and that really helped. So I hope that helps. And the last question I'm going to answer is, any advice for recorder students stressing whilst playing for an audience? Yeah, it is stressful. I would say the more you do it, the easier it gets. Just do it. I pick a point above the audience to look at, so you're not figuring out where to look, and just really confidently, maybe a point above the audience's heads. I find it really helps before the concert to walk around on stage. It sounds weird, but walk into all the corners of the stage, and then it feels like my space. If I don't do this, sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in one position. And then when you're on stage, to really and trust what you've practiced. Once you're there, you can do it. And maybe pick one thing about your playing that you are really proud of. It can be anything. You could be really good at tonguing, or you can play a beautiful E, or you can blow really loud, or something that you feel good about, and rest on that. That's your foundation. And just keep doing it. And if something goes wrong, good. Let it go wrong, and then move upwards from that. Whew. Okay, I'm going to call John. John, do you want to play a duet? Yay! Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. This was so much fun to talk to all of you, and I'm really happy that you all tuned in. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties in the beginning. Oh, we're going to play a duet for you. What should we play?
Rondo.
Oh, Rondo. Just getting the... Where did I put that book? So this is John playing his xylophone. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hold on, thank you so much for watching. I love Team Recorder. I'm so happy we exist, and we're gonna play some Telemann duets. If you like this, maybe I'll do it again. Should we play this one?
Which one?
This one?
No, not in F.
Not in F. They're all in F. Bloody Telemann, they're all in F. This one?
F is fine.
This one?
In either one, doesn't matter.
Do you want to? Shall I play top or bottom?
I'll play top.
Okay. everyone so much for tuning in. I'm going to go now, I think. We're going to go now. Have a really fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will see you next week.